in Omaha, Nebraska, before he was even a teenager. He was fascinated. If you read about it, of course, he's a fascinating fellow to read about. But he was fascinated about the potential of probability. He just was totally. He is. He's very much. He's like 87, 88 years old. Very much intrigued with such things as probability and how to understand probability. And going back to before being a teenager, the probability of a horse winning a race. All right, Jim Murphy, you got a pizza coming your way. That's a probability you're going to enjoy that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I will.
Okay, well, thanks for tuning in, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Jim Murphy, that's right. It's Stable Boys Selections, the tip sheet that he and a friend printed at the Axar Bend Racetrack in Omaha, Nebraska, 25 cents a piece. I don't know. He was born in 1930, so that means he probably did this, in 1940, 41, 42, 43, somewhere in that range. Pretty much a sharp entrepreneur indeed.
Wrap me in bacon, wrap him in bacon, and pour bacon crumbles on my head, pour bacon crumbles on his head. Now that I think of it, I'll just go to Little Caesars. I'll go to Little Caesars. Get a bacon wrap deep dish pizza instead. Get a bacon wrap deep dish pizza instead.
Get Little Caesars large, hot and ready bacon wrap deep dish pepperoni and bacon pizza wrapped in over 3.5 feet of bacon for just $12 at participating locations plus tax.
Pizza.
Coming up, the news you depend on, the 7 o'clock morning edition here on WCLU. Don't forget, we are patting on the back Linda Harrison. She celebrated her 70th birthday recently. We got to get her patted on the back today. And just kind of, if you see her around today, let her know she's good as gold. Ask her how she likes 70 so far. From WCLU and a little taste of Texas.
CBS News update. Sri Lanka's president has just asked for outside help as investigators look for international ties to a local Islamist militant group believed responsible for yesterday's deadly terror attacks on churches and hotels. Police have arrested 13 suspects. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe.
We are prepared to take all measures necessary to ensure that terrorism is contained and wiped out in this country. Therefore, the police and the armed forces are taking necessary action.
CBS's Tom Hansen says the Sri Lankan government has shut down what many consider vital communications links.
The violence reminds many of the long and bloody civil war that ended a decade ago. The country blocked social media to stop the spread of misinformation. That's made it difficult for some Americans to get in touch with loved ones.
And that country's president has declared a state of emergency beginning at midnight local time. CBS News Update, I'm Peter King.
Who will be the future face radio family? WCLU, 1490 Glasgow. Confirmed their potential. WCLU FM, 102.3 Munfordville, Glasgow. And W2760, 103.1 Glasgow. Now it's time to see what they're made of.
Feel good.
Presenting
Those are words a parent never wants to hear, but don't worry. I'm here to help you. This is nurse practitioner Brittany Jackson with Jackson Health and Wellness Clinic. Cold and flu season can be scary and intimidating unless you have a plan. Be sure to wash your hands, drink water, eat well, and get plenty of rest. But when that doesn't work, or when your kid picks up the latest bug tearing...
So as Kaylee says, come on down to the Quick Stop Shoe Store and check us out. Happy Valley Road in Glasgow, just down from Houchins Grocery. Look for the Red Wing sign. It's a shoe store designed to give you a personal experience to find the right shoe that fits your feet, your work needs, whether it be steel toe or waterproof. The Albrights are known and trusted for these very reasons. That's the Quick Stop Shoe Store across from Swifties on Happy Valley Road in Glasgow.
Come on down to the Quick Stop Shoe Store and check us out.
Depend on WCLU local news. Online, on demand at WCLUradio.com.
For WCLU News, I'm Brennan Crane reporting. The Glasgow City Council is set to meet tonight at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers. On the agenda is a municipal order appointing Libby Pruitt-Short to the Electric Plant Board to fill the unexpired 4-year term of Mark Biggers. Also on the agenda is a municipal order appointing Roger P. Simmons as Superintendent of Public Works and Lincoln Bell as Assistant Superintendent of Public Works. This appointment is subject to the approval of the City Council tonight. And then finally on the agenda is a second reading of an ordinance increasing the amount of funds contributed by the City of Glasgow for economic development from $60,000 to $120,000 to be included in next year's fiscal budget. WCLU will have coverage of tonight's meeting and will stream it live on Facebook and EPB Channel 6. On Saturday, the Glasgow Police Department conducted a traffic stop on Columbia Avenue. Lieutenant Aaron Cowan detected an odor of marijuana coming from inside the vehicle and made contact with Quincy Austin. Officers located a bag of marijuana inside of Austin's shirt pocket. While conducting a search of the vehicle, officers located a large bag of marijuana inside the trunk of the vehicle. Austin admitted to officers that the marijuana belonged to him. The total amount of marijuana located was over 1 pound, with a street value of $6,000. Quincy Austin of Smiths Grove was arrested and charged with traffic in marijuana, 8 ounces to under 5 pounds, first offense. The arrest was made by Lieutenant Aaron Cowan, assisted by Officer Zane Greer. The Bowling Green Warren County Drug Task Force, with assistance from Bowling Green Police K-9 and Warren County Sheriff's Office, has arrested Feldon L. Flippin, 31, of Bowling Green. They've charged him with trafficking in marijuana over 5 pounds, which is a Class C felony. The arrest occurred at 1:50 p.m. Please slow down and use caution in these areas. On the Louis B. Nunn Cumberland Parkway, a bridge painting project on the bridge over I-65 could begin with shoulder and lane closures. The work is weather dependent. In Metcalfe County on Kentucky 163, also known as Tompkinsville Road, contractors are expected to work on a project that will replace the bridge and approaches over Rogers Creek. The project is half-mile in length and begins at Robertson Shaw Road, extending north to Radford Martin. Motorists should be prepared for occasional delays due to flagging as work on this project continues. For more information, check out the new goky.ky.gov for traffic and lane closures and all traffic conditions. You're listening to WCLU News. I'm Brennan Crane.
Have you putting off buying a new vehicle? Well, Bailey Gibson in Glasgow says the wait is over. Just announced, and for a limited time, GM is extending supplier pricing to every customer, plus cash allowance on all 2018 and 2019 Buicks and GMC cars and SUVs in stock. What's the bottom line? Pick out your next Buick, GMC, or SUV from the huge in-stock inventory at Bailey Gibson, and you'll get up to 16% off MSRP on all cars and SUVs in stock. Couldn't get any simpler. Don't miss out. Come to Bailey Gibson Buick GMC, 306 Happy Valley Road, Glasgow.
ISU Pedigo Lessenberry Insurance. Yes, we have a history and roots in Southern Kentucky. Yes, we have a large staff to support our clients with the attention and efficiency they deserve. Best of all, we continue to get better at what we do. You make us better. Let us show you the type of insurance experience we think should always come standard. Every person, family, home, farm, or business we serve gets our best effort. Dedicated to what's best for you, we're ISU Pedigo Lessenberry Insurance.
Growing with a proud community since 1902, I'm Daniel Bird, and I'd love the opportunity to work with you. Please give us a call.
In more news this hour, Kentucky State Police are investigating after a body was found in a pond at a golf course. According to troopers, a body of a man was found on Saturday evening at the Paintsville Golf Course. Kentucky State Police are handling the investigation after the request from Johnson County authorities. The person found was not immediately identified as of Sunday. An autopsy is scheduled today at the medical examiner's office in Frankfort. Kentucky law enforcement officials are investigating the death of a Graves County jail inmate. According to a news release, the McCracken County Coroner's Office alerted the Kentucky State Police of the inmate's death earlier Sunday morning. The inmate, who was not identified, was discovered unresponsive and needing medical attention at Graves County Jail on Saturday. The inmate was taken to Jackson Purchase Medical Center and later transferred to Baptist Health Paducah, where he died around 10:30 p.m. Detective Sergeant Brett Miller is conducting the death investigation. An autopsy is being conducted in Louisville. A 23-year-old man who authorities say impersonated a long-missing child has pleaded not guilty to the charges. Brian Michael Reaney of Medina, Ohio, was arraigned Friday in Cincinnati. He was indicted this week on 2 counts of lying to federal agents and 1 count of aggravated identity theft. Magistrate Karen Lukovitz advised Reaney of his rights before asking his federal public defender for his plea. He was initially arrested on a single false statement count after DNA testing proved he wasn't Timothy Pitson, an Aurora, Illinois boy who disappeared in 2011 at age age 6. The federal magistrate earlier this month cited Reeney's lack of a permanent address, past mental health issues, and a lengthy criminal history that goes back to age 13 as she ordered him held without bond. Tennessee is poised to become the latest state to ban possessing, selling, or distributing a childlike sex doll. The legislation outlawing childlike sex dolls won unanimous support from the House lawmakers this week. The bill now goes to Governor Bill Lee's desk after previously clearing the Senate earlier this month. The bill bans an obscene, anatomically correct doll, mannequin, or robot that is intended for sexual stimulation or gratification. Other states, including Kentucky and Florida, are advancing similar bills. The issue gained attention after a Kentucky dropped charges against a man who ordered sex dolls resembling children, saying there were no actual child involved. A version of the ban has been considered in Congress within the so-called Creeper Act by former Republican Representative Dan Donovan of New York. The governing body of Kentucky employers is Mutual Insurance has recommended its chief executive take a pay cut and lose his long-term job contract in favor of year-to-year probation. The Lexington Herald Leader reports the action whose population spiked this month when residents were forced from a nearby Louisville camp. The Courier-Journal reports CSX says it's working with police to move residents to safer living situations. The Louisville Director of Resilience and Community Services, Eric Friedlander, says CSX wants residents off private property near the train tracks by April 29th. He says CSX isn't abiding by Louisville's required 21-day camp clearing notice. He says he's notified local outreach and advocacy groups. Louisville cleared a camp on April 1st due to new homeless services, and many residents moved to this camp. The city has funded stopgap measures, including shelter beds, lockers, and outreach staff, but funding ends in June. For WCLU News, I'm Brennan Crane. As always, you can find us at WCLUradio.com and on Facebook and Twitter for live updates and content from all of my newscasts.
TJ Regional Health offers a vast
I'm
array of
home.
medical services.
Back already? I thought you were going for a long spring walk.
Yeah,
I think so too. But I'm so out of shape from being cooped up all winter.
Wow, I have the perfect way to up your fitness game. I'm buying an iPhone from Bluegrass Cellular.
Exactly how does you getting an iPhone help me?
Simple. If I buy my iPhone from Bluegrass Cellular, you get half off any Apple Watch. It's the perfect workout companion.
It's better than the workout companion I have now.
Of course, we could choose to get half off an iPad so I can stream my workouts and watch sports from anywhere.
No, I like the idea of getting outside with Apple Watch. Maybe you could join me?
Now, how about this? Call me from your Apple Watch and let me know how you're doing.
Restrictions apply. Visit Bluegrass Cellular online or drop by your nearest location. Bluegrass Cellular, your community, expanded.
The only place you need.
This is the Kentucky News Network.
Kentucky State Police are investigating after an inmate died at the Graves County Jail. 50-year-old Rodney Evans was found unresponsive Saturday evening. He was taken to a hospital where he died. A second inmate was also taken to the hospital from an apparent overdose. Troopers are waiting for autopsy results to determine Evans' death was also caused by an overdose. State Police and the Graves County Jail are investigating where the contraband may have come from. The Pentagon says a soldier who died in Iraq is from Richmond, Kentucky. Specialist Ryan Riley was killed Saturday in Iraq in what's being called a non-combat related accident. Riley was a fire control specialist and was assigned to the 101st Airborne Division at Fort Campbell. New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is still planning to visit Kentucky despite a rescinded invitation from a local congressman.
The freshman Democrat says she will go to the Bluegrass State with the intent to listen to the concerns of workers in Kentucky. She was initially invited to tour the coal mines by Republican Representative Andy Barr in March during a heated debate over her Green New Deal. However, Barr rescinded his invitation after she called out his fellow Republican Congressman Representative Dan Crenshaw of Texas for his criticism of Representative Ilhan Omar's controversial remarks about the 9/11 attacks.
Suzanne Duvall reporting. The likely favorite in the Kentucky Derby is being treated for an injury. Trainer Richard Mandela says Omaha Beach has a quarter crack in a hoof.
So I brought my blacksmith, Ben Kraft, here from California, who has done his quarter crack patch out there originally, and it was due to reset it today and put new shoes on, and we're ready to go.
I'm Paul Miles.
This is the Kentucky News Network.
The new FN 509 midsize 9mm pistol is now part of FN's legendary concealed carry lineup. It is a natural fit. With its smaller grip frame modeled after the battle-proven million rounds tested FN 509, the FN 509 midsize comes with two 15-round magazines and naturally improves concealability. Available at your local firearms dealer. FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
April is finally here, and it's my favorite time of year because it's Distracted Driving Awareness Month. And it's incredibly important to my life and my story because at 22, I had to have a partial hip replacement due to someone thinking that their phone was a little bit more important than the person's life in front of them. At 22, I was a big runner. That was the quickest way I could relieve stress. I can't run anymore. I also had big plans to start a family. I can't carry children because my hips cannot bear the weight. At 22, my parents, alongside my physical therapist, had to reteach me how to walk. So this month and every month, I just urge you to put your phone down.
Can you believe it's been 2 years? 2 years. 2 years since Glasgow's favorite liquor.
Pest, mosquito, and fire ant control. And you can feel good knowing that all services are backed with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. All you have to do is schedule a free home evaluation, and a licensed Aero professional will come to your home and inspect, identify, and then treat in the most environmentally responsible method available today. Call 888-GO-AERO or visit aeroexterminators.com. That's 888-GO-AERO or aeroexterminators.com. It's not just pest control, it's Aero Exterminators Pest Control.
Here's the score from the Kentucky News Network. I'm Scott Fitzgerald. Well, out west in San Diego yesterday, Cincinnati Reds pitcher Tyler Mahle struck out 9 and walked none, but the Reds starter was the losing pitcher. In a 4-3 setback to the Padres, Mahle pitched them with the exception of, well, that fourth inning, something he himself was Murray State falling to Belmont 4-3. With less than 2 weeks to Kentucky Derby 145, the likely morning line favorite, Omaha Beach, has an injury to his hoof in what they're calling a quarter crack. His trainer Richard Mandela calls it, quote, like breaking your fingernail, only breaking it to the cuticle, unquote. A blacksmith was flown in from California to help with the injury, something the horse is used to dealing with after injuring it at Santa Anita earlier this year. Since that injury, he's won the Arkansas Derby and is expected to train each day this week. And finally on the ice, the Nashville Predators are on the brink of elimination as they visit the Dallas Stars tonight in Game 6. The Preds losing Game 5, 5-3 at home on Saturday. I'm Scott Fitzgerald.
This is the Kentucky News Network.
The Weather Channel brings you the latest forecast. Sponsored by Southern States in Glasgow.
The secret to your garden's success is waiting for you now at Southern States Glasgow Cooperative.